A very good evening, viewers. You're watching the latest edition of Republic Defense, and I am Rakshita Mishra, viewers. In this latest edition of the show, we'll tell you how Trump is rewarding his favorite Field Marshal Munir for his sycophancy with $1 million package for Pakistan's F-16 fleet. The move, coming right after Operation Sindoor, is raising alarms in New Delhi. We'll tell you why. And India's efforts, on the other hand, for war readiness continue undeterred, as the Bay of Bengal region could see another missile test. Now, also on the show, we will tell you why the Indian Army is eyeing the deadly Pinaka rockets. All that and more on our defense. Now, a series of meetings, brewing bromance on display. Mining deal follows, and now an upgrade of the F-16 fleet. That's the reward for Asim Munir from Donald Trump. The United States of America has approved a $686 million package to upgrade and modernize Pakistan's fleet of F-16 fighter jets. The Defense Security Cooperation Agency says the deal will include advanced systems, avionics enhancements and logistical support to enhance Pakistan's F-16 jets to a more capable standard. Washington maintains that the package is aimed at supporting interoperability with US and partner forces in counter-terrorism missions. Yes, counter-terrorism they call it. And of course, India is not buying it at all. Pakistan's F-16s have repeatedly been used against India. And New Delhi sees the latest American approval as another attempt to bolster Pakistan at a time when they have shown no intent to curb terror groups operating from its own soil. In fact, US armoring Pakistan. Now, Link 16 upgrade adds real-time communications, enhanced navigation and mission planning. This is how US is aiding Pakistan. Interoperability, it says, with US making Air Force stronger. Fleet life extension to 2040 enables long-term air combat capability. Now, viewers, this is a brazen attempt to provoke. As I said, it's being closely watched by the Indian Defence Forces. It's being closely watched by India, especially since Islamabad has a long history of using American military equipment against Indian forces. Most notably, this F-16 was used in 2019. From India's perspective, F-16s are not theoretical counter-terror assets, but the cutting edge of Pakistan's conventional deterrent that was used post Balakot strikes. We remember the 2019 conflict. The F-16s were used. The counter-terrorism justification is contradictory to Pakistan's cross-border behavior. There have been infiltration bids. There have been how Jaish-e-Mohammed, Lashkar-e-Taiba continue to back more terror modules, just like we saw in Delhi, what happened on the 10th. In Delhi on 10th November, and India is concerned because it indirectly reinforces the China-Pak military axis as well. This all has been played out through high-level meetings, lunches, back-channel talks on defense and economic issues. This, ladies and gentlemen, essentially reinforces perceptions that Pakistan's military continues to benefit from the United States' support, despite its hostility towards India. Now, ORF's Dhruva Jaishankar has also made a statement, has also spoken out on the US's growing proximity to Pakistan military and how it's concerning. Listen in.
However, this considerable progress in consolidating the relationship is now at a political standstill. The biggest obstacle concerns tariffs. President Trump's desire to balance trade with India and access India's market is precisely what India is offering. The outline of what is possible was spelled out by President Trump and Prime Minister Modi in February. This includes $500 billion in trade by 2030, which will be facilitated by a bilateral trade agreement. The United States is now a major provider of oil and gas to India, and coal exports have also increased, and civil nuclear cooperation is possible, as is cooperation on defense, on AI, and a variety of other emerging technologies.
Group Captain Augustine Vinod joining us on the broadcast. Thank you so much for once again joining us on Republics. This is a very, very alarming situation. So how do you read into this? You know, we see the series of meetings that, you know, what all happened, the bromance that was so-called bromance on display. Now, of course, there are no free lunches. We all know that. And now US is, you know, offering this aid. What do you really think it could be done in a counter, how India could be alert? How do you read into this?
A couple of things very quickly. First of all, Link 16 itself has been given to many European nations, especially under the NATO. And outside of NATO, I don't see many people using Link 16. And Link 16, mind you, is something, I mean, I'm getting a little technical here. Link 16 uses something called a TDMA technology, the time division multiple access, on the frequency which is used for identification friend or foe. India also uses that equipment in the same frequency, but in the TDMA gives them an encryption capability, even if it is 16-bit. The amount of time taken to decrypt that signal will be huge. And even if you decrypt it, that information will be of not much use to India. That is point number one. Point number two, probably they got rattled by our BrahMos attack. And I also am reading, it's again, I'm reading between the lines, 686 million. Maybe they are replacing the F-16s that were lost. We saw it very, very clearly in the hangar when BrahMos hit them. In my, guesstimation, at least 6 to 7 F-16s were lost in that attack in the hangar. So probably they are replacing that. And third and very important aspect that is that I can see is the Mark 82 bombs that are going to come along with this particular deal. The Mark 82 bombs have something called the P code or the precision code of GPS, which only the American forces use it. So, and Mark 82, it, mind you, straps onto an existing bomb and makes it a smart bomb. Now, will that be an answer to our BrahMos or a lame answer to our BrahMos is the question mark I have. And finally, and most importantly, is US is playing both sides. We are exceedingly using in last decade and a half, exceedingly using US equipment in terms of C-130Js. These special forces C-130 that we use is US and C-17s Apache helicopters. So US knows full well what technology they have given us, what a link they have given us. And if they share that information with Pakistan, the Pakistan will have complete look-see into our equipment, our technology, our information flow within the link that Americans have provided to us.
Right.
So it is such a big double-edged sword. Last and most important point, which probably Trump hasn't seen or Trump's advisors haven't seen, is Pakistan is also an ally of China. And they will share this sensitive technology, this sensitive communication protocol with China. In no time, a Link 16 Chinese version will be in China, which will be a misdoing or an undoing of Trump 2.0. Trump has done a very big mistake. There is no doubt about that.
Absolutely. Group Captain Vinod, many thanks for joining us on Republic TV and Republic Defense with your understanding of the situation. Now, viewers, India has issued a fresh no time ahead of the planned, what is called the planned missile test over the Bay of Bengal between 17th and the 20th of December. We're going to show you the region. That's temporary no-fly zone and no-sail zones extending over 3,000 kilometers. The extended danger zone now points to preparations for a significant long-range missile trial by the DRDO. And now what's being said is that it could be a missile, a submarine launched that it could be linked to a submarine-launched ballistic missile family that India has been developing. Although official sources have not specified the exact system under test, the size of the designated flight corridor and its location in the deep waters of the eastern coast near the Eastern Naval Command suggests that the upcoming trial, viewers, this could involve a long-reach strategic missile system requiring a wide safety buffer, because you see this is a maximum length, 3,350 kilometers on the eastern theater. This is the Bay of Bengal region. This is the no-flying zone, and this is the start date and the end date. So this, of course, could be the submarine test also. Now, shifting focus to the other story that we're tracking for you, viewers, about the Pinaka Firestorm. We'll quickly shift our focus to that story. Now, the Chief of the Army Staff, General Upendra Dwivedi, has presided over the Biennial Artillery Conference 2025, where senior leadership reviewed modernization, operational lessons and future priorities for the Regiment of Artillery in the wake of the current operational experiences. The Indian Army is now pushing a major proposal to acquire new long-range guided Pinaka rockets. Now, why are they important? These 120-kilometer guided rockets being developed by the DRDO are designed to be launched from the existing Pinaka multi-barrel rocket launcher platforms, extending their strike envelope. The proposal, worth around 2,500 crore rupees, is set to be taken up for clearance by the Defence Acquisition Council. Now, the Pinaka system has already proven itself a reliable mobile force multiplier in India's artillery arsenal and has attracted interest. And there's another major deal that's in the works, viewers. India is now close. It is reported that it is close to sealing the deal for R-37M long-range air-to-air missile, considered one of the fastest and farthest-reaching weapons of its class. The R-37M is designed to strike the enemy aircraft from extreme standoff distances, giving the pilot the ability to engage high-value targets. Now, this is the hypersonic hunter that we are going to tell you about. It has a strategic edge over Indian Air Force. This is a strategic edge that it provides over Indian Air Force's 100-kilometer R-77 missile and the Chinese PL-15. Also, it allows the Sukhoi 30 Mark 1 pilots to detect and neutralize threats like AWACS, one of the AWACS that were also, remember, struck down during Operation Sindoor by India. It also restores Indian Air Force's edge against Pakistan's upgrades and Chinese threats as well. So the delivery can be expected in 12 to 18 months. 300 units could be incoming if the deal is finalized, because these reports are now picking up pace, especially after Vladimir Putin's visit to India. It weighs 510 kilograms. It's over 4 meters in length. That's the R-37 hypersonic hunter for you, and it could be a big boost for India's arsenal if the deal comes through. And Cyclone Ditwa has left Sri Lanka battling one of the worst humanitarian crises in recent years, viewers. And as the island struggles to regain its footing, India has launched the major relief mission under its neighborhood first policy. Now, Operation Sagar Bandhu, that's the name of this rescue operation. It's a coordinated response by the Indian Army and the Indian Navy, and is now on the ground in full force, in full swing. From food to medicines, shelter kits, multifunctional relief kits, India's forces are working round the clock as Sri Lanka picks up the pieces, viewers. And in fact, Indian Army is being hailed for the efforts it is putting out, the valiant efforts, the heroic efforts of our armed personnel. Take a look.
Cyclone Ditwa tore through Sri Lanka with devastating force. Entire stretches of roads washed away, bridges collapsed, communities cut off overnight. Torrential rain triggered flooding across the island, leaving homes submerged and emergency services overwhelmed.
Indian government Army மற்ற வந்து அவங்க வந்து பெரிய ஹெல்ப்பாக இருக்குது எங்களுக்கு செஞ்சுதான் இருக்குது. எங்களுக்கு போக்குவரத்து சரியாக பாதிப்பு இருக்குது, பள்ளிக்கூடம் போகலாமல் இருக்குது. அதனால மிக வேகமாக செய்கிறதாங்கன்னா எங்கள் தொழிலுக்கு அங்கே இங்கே போக வசதியாக இருக்கும். எங்களுக்கு வந்து நல்ல இதாக இருக்கும். நாங்கள் வந்து எங்களுக்கு பெரிய ஹெல்ப்பாக செய்யணும்.
As Sri Lanka struggled to respond, India stepped in under its neighbourhood first policy. Operation Sagar Bandhu, a rapid humanitarian mission to restore connectivity and support rescue efforts.
In the line with India's policy of the neighbourhood first, the Operation Sagar Bandhu was launched to provide the humanitarian assistance to our Sri Lankan brothers and sisters who were affected by the devastating cyclone Ditwa. As part of the Operation Sagar Bandhu, an engineer task force, and they were inducted on the war footing to provide engineering support primarily to restore the vital lines of communications and construct damaged bridges and roads. The team here is comprising of the various experts of bridging, surveying and watermanship, and also the team which has come here has the meticulous skill holders who can operate the heavy earth moving equipments, drones and unmanned vehicles which is required to provide the effective engineering support.
An engineer task force of 48 Indian Army personnel was airlifted to Sri Lanka on priority, arriving with specialized equipment and critical engineering capability.
Indian Army வந்து எங்களுக்கு சரியான முறையில் யுத்தத்தால் பாதிக்கப்பட்டுள்ள இடத்துக்கு சரியான முறையில் வந்து எங்களுக்கு ஹெல்ப் பண்ணுது. நல்ல ஒரு விஷயம். இந்தியன் ஆர்மி வந்து எங்களுக்கு இவ்வளோ சப்போர்ட் செய்கிறது பெருமைக்குரிய விஷயமாகும்.
Their first task was to reconnect isolated regions cut off by the storm. Using heavy earth-moving machines, the team cleared debris, rebuilt washed-out stretches of roads and began reconstructing collapsed bridges linking stranded families to relief camps.
First, I want to thank for India government and India Army helping for us this situation time. I came from here before 3 days. I have some problem for my stomach and head. I continue vomiting and my leg pain. Within 3 days now I got very good size.
These restored routes opened vital corridors, allowing food, medicines and emergency aid to reach thousands in remote pockets. Even as engineering teams worked on the ground, a parallel medical mission swung into action. Led by Lieutenant Colonel Jagmeet Gill, an Indian Army medical team set up a fully equipped mobile hospital in flood-hit areas.
Well, the key facilities that were established by this hospital really depended on the fact that what are the facilities that were already available in this hospital. So the other hospital which has been non-functioning, we were basically looking at facilities like the operation theatre, the dental section, the X-ray and the lab facilities. So we have been able to create these facilities. Other than that, we have also been able to create OPDs, which was the hour of the need. So we have been able to create the surgical OPD, the ortho OPD, the dental OPD, as well as family OPD. So we've been able to provide assistance to almost around 5,000, more than 5,000 patients.
Over 5,000 patients have already been treated by the Indian Army's doctors and paramedics. Cyclone Ditwa made landfall on the 28th of November, dumping over 500 millimeters of rain in just 48 hours. Supporting the ground teams, India has dispatched 4 naval vessels carrying food, water, medicines and shelter kits. From rebuilding bridges to restoring lifelines, from emergency medical care to delivering relief supplies, Operation Sagar Bandhu emerged as a critical support system as Sri Lanka fights through.
And as part of the ongoing India-Malaysia joint exercise drill, Harimau Shakti at Mahajan field firing ranges in Rajasthan from 5th to 18th of December. Troops from both armies are currently undertaking a range of joint training activities aimed at enhancing interoperability and operational preparedness. The exercise also features a joint weapons and equipment display showcasing company and battalion level special weapons, including the next-gen equipment and the weapons. Take a look, and thank you so much for watching this latest edition of Our Defense. Jai Hind.